Hey guys, welcome back to my series. If you're new here, I'm Lily and I run my own small business micro bakery called Lily's Loaf in South London. So welcome back everyone, I hope you're all well. So it's been a couple weeks since I last posted a video, so I wanted to do a little update, catch up sort of thing. So as you'll notice, you're in the shop part of my micro bakery today. And this is where I kind of keep all of my supplies, so my bags, my accessories for wrapping up boxes and all sorts of like wrapping sort of things, and my jars too when I was doing pesto and chutney and jam. I've still got quite a lot of chutney stock, which I want to sell at my next market because my last one was cancelled. So yeah, that's what I want to do. But anyway, this is the change of scenery and I'm really enjoying it because I've moved out my massive proving rack out of the way, and I've created all this space and it feels so nice to be able to film with this lovely daylight. I won't have too much more of it actually because it's quite late in the afternoon. But yeah, I'm really enjoying the space here because normally I'm kind of like cramped in like some small nook. I made a couple notes. I've had a couple meetings. My first one was just with like another local business, and then I had another one with an accountant, a local accountant firm, and I felt very grown up. So I had a meeting with another accountant via QuickBooks online, which it just didn't really seem quite right to do it online, and they were based in another country as well, so I just decided that I wanted to find someone a bit more local. So I'm kind of like on the hunt for an accountant just to help me out with like the early stages of payroll and paying employees. So you may know that I now have a couple delivery guys who I employ, which is amazing, and it's made such a difference to my business, to efficiency of deliveries, to my own sanity. Because before, for the first like year or so of my business, I was doing the deliveries too, as well as all the baking and all of the business side of things. And it was just taking a big toll on my body, and it was just quite a stress to kind of manage everything myself. So this has been fantastic and really exciting to kind of like go into a new venture of like looking after people and just being an employer basically. There's been lots of paperwork that's been involved with like setting that up and making sure that I'm doing the right things. While I am interested in it and I'm really interested in the business side of things, I know that there are many more highly qualified people out there who can help me along the way. And even kind of like having those meetings reinforces certain goals in your mind, like what are your projections for the following year? How much do you want to make? Do you want to double what you made last year? What are your specific personal goals? All of these things, and like I have an idea of what all of these things are in my head obviously, but it's just good to kind of voice it and really solidify the direction that I want to go in personally. So like I know one of my goals is I want to open my own cafe bakery. I want to employ a small team, and I want to be financially independent and have my own flat, and yeah, that's about it. Just have like a comfortable life really and enjoy what I'm doing every day as much as possible. Obviously there'll be ups and downs, as any small business owner knows, but that is the dream. So that was kind of cool having that meeting today. I think I'll probably meet with another firm just to see what they can do for me as well. But yeah, there's so much to learn, and it's so rewarding, and like I just feel like since I've started Lily's Loaf, it's really expanded my world and my horizons, and I learn something new every day, whether it's on like the baking side of things or business, or yeah, I mean, there's just so much to learn. So yeah, so that's what I've been doing today. What did I want to talk about today? So since I last saw you, I've been to see a couple premises actually, and I am definitely not at the stage where I'm gonna take on a lease somewhere. I'm just at the looking stage. So I guess it's kind of like any first time home buyers, like when you're just going to look around new homes. That's kind of the stage where I'm at now, but I'm not ready to take on any contracts or anything, just because I want to gain more work experience in bakeries and just take it really slow, because this is like my forever thing. And yeah, so that's where I'm at. But I have been to see the old post office bakery in Clapham North. I went to see that a week and a half ago, and met the owner there. They're selling the entire business. They've been running it for about 40 years, and they've actually already accepted an offer, and they had already accepted an offer before I went to go and view it. But they're selling the entire business, the 2 floors, all of the equipment, the business itself. So it's quite a unique offer, and the location is incredible. They've got fantastic legacy as well. London's first organic bakery. But yeah, it was just really awesome to go and see that business and see how they run it, even if it was just for like half an hour. And I already felt just like being in that environment. I just knew that that's like my kind of space, you know, just like being with other bakers and just being around like all of the dough and all of that sort of thing. And in that creative environment, as difficult and as challenging as it can be sometimes, I just felt right at home there. But yeah, they've had an offer already, so that was one thing. And then I also, interestingly, a couple people got in touch with me actually, and they had seen this advertisement on Tooting Newsies. So like I follow a couple Instagram accounts called like Balham Newsy, Tooting Newsy, like South London updates in the area, and they were advertising Fursdown Lodge, which is this old building which has been uninhabited for 10 years. Wandsworth Council are currently seeking expressions of interest for Fursdown Lodge to lease it for a specified range of purposes. The building on the corner of Fursdown Road and Fursdown Drive was built in 1862 and is Grade 2 listed. The lodge has been empty for a number of years since the last tenant died, who is a park ranger who lived there many decades. The council own the building and wish to lease it for purposes such as cafe or restaurant, leisure space or a club, society or organisation whose activities are wholly or mainly of a social, recreational or education character. Blah, 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 blah. So I'm going to put some photos up on here now so you can see. But basically, I went to go and view it. It's absolutely stunning from the outside. It's a beautiful building. The sun is gorgeous. It was, because it was quite a large plot of land, the sun, when I went to go and view it at around 2 o'clock, was hitting it. There's a garden outside as well, so it's kind of like a really perfect spot, and everything that I'd kind of hoped for in a location, and just the space itself. However, it needs so much work inside to convert it from residential space to commercial A3 license. I think the council probably would help out in some way, and you'd probably have to get a grant. But for the reason of it being my first venture and just the sheer amount of work inside and also out in the garden, I mean, we're talking like months and thousands of pounds worth of development. I don't even know if I would be able to fit in all of the bakery equipment that I would need, and the kitchen equipment and extraction fans and that sort of thing. So I went there with an open mind, and I decided that it's no from me at the moment. I'm sure it'll be whipped up pretty quickly, but it was absolutely stunning. And it's just cool to kind of see like the huge difference in the disparity between potentially owning somewhere which is fully set up as a bakery to the bare bones. And yeah, it's very exciting to kind of have these options open. I want to give you a croissant update too. This is my latest croissant experiment. This is my most successful attempt so far, I think. This is them. They look pretty sad. They smell good. They smell... So basically what I did for these was I used the same recipe that I've been working on, the boulangerie pas à pas recipe, which I mentioned last time for croissant végétal. And the fat that I used for this was by Land and Monkeys. And this is the patisserie in Paris, and they make their own house margarine, which contains, I think it's grapeseed oil, cocoa butter, water, and soya lecithin. So I made this last week, and that's what I used in the, I think the word is détrempe. So like the initial dough, and from what I've heard from like a couple baker friends, it's quite beneficial to add in a little bit of vegan fat into your détrempe, and then also do the lamination after that. So what I found with that fat was it was just quite lumpy still, and it kind of reminded me of when I've tried vegan croissants with coconut oil in the past too. So I think just in terms of ease, I won't be doing that, and I'm really not that interested in making my own butter anymore, just because it is a massive faff, and making croissants in itself is such an art and very time consuming. I don't think I need to be adding any more steps into that process. So it was fun to do, but I think next time I won't be doing it again. And then also for the lamination, I just used stork fat, because last time I used, what did I use? I can't remember what I used, but I used another fat. And that worked pretty well for the lamination. In terms of taste, it was okay. It was okay. I think so much of the croissant is like the texture, like all of the textural notes. So like the soft dough in the middle. Oh, what happened to my voice? The soft dough compared to like the flaky exterior, and then you get like the kind of sweet and salty vibes. But yeah, I mean it was okay, but I think because it doesn't have that texture there, I couldn't fully enjoy it. I think I also need to get like my friends who can have normal croissants to test it. I need Hannah, my my first ever Lily's Loaf employee assistant extraordinaire, to come and try them when I've perfected them, if and when I perfect them. But yeah, so that's where I'm at with the croissants. And then I also thought that I'd share some books with you that I've been reading. Hello again, sorry, my memory card filled up. So the first book that I want to share is the Land and Monkeys one that I just spoke about. And this was recommended to me by one of my lovely followers, Zala, and she recommended it to me when I was trying to make vegan croissants last year. And of course they have like the croissant dough, pâte à croissant, they have like their house butter, they have all of the French recipes in here. And it's super cool because like it's a completely vegan patisserie based in Paris, and it's so impressive, like the things that they make there. So yeah, I've been enjoying going through this book and kind of taking bits and bobs from their recipes and their technique and applying it to my croissants. I've also learnt from my baker friends that fresh yeast is best for pastries, so I'm definitely going to give that a go next time. And also something that they mentioned, hang on, let me just check. I think it's called osmotolerant yeast. So let me just find this. Okay, so fresh yeast is best if using dried yeast. Much better to use osmotolerant like this. Saf Instant. Osmotolerant yeast works best with high sugar content. So that's really interesting. So I'm going to try that for my next attempt. Well, I think I'll try fresh yeast first, because that's what most of them use. Some of them just use like sourdough levain for their pastries, which I just think is insane and so impressive. Maybe one day I'll get there. I'm thinking I might do a hybrid though of like a fermented dough with fresh yeast, just for that extra flavour. I just think that's really cool. Oh man, I forgot my other book, but basically the other book that I ordered myself as like a kind of late birthday present was Michael James Tivoli Road Baker, and that's been fantastic in terms of like getting new ideas and seeing their technique as well. In his croissant dough, they use a pre-ferment as well as fresh yeast, I think. And yeah, it's just beautifully written, and I love seeing like the kind of different business models. So I think they had like a cafe operating out of there, as well as like takeaways and like coffees and that sort of thing. That's based in Australia. And then also what I've been reading is this book, which you might have seen is pretty hot at the moment. I've wanted this for a while actually. I've been following Roxy Nafusi online, and this is Manifest, 7 Steps to Living Your Best Life. I love this sort of thing. I'm very much into like self-help kind of books and podcasts, and yeah, ever since I kind of like really struggled a few years ago with my mental health, I've really been into self-help. And anything that you can do to make yourself feel better and kind of feel normal. But this isn't even so much that. I guess I'm just kind of like really into spiritual sort of stuff as well. But anyway, this book is the essential guide for anyone and everyone wanting to feel more empowered in their lives. In just 7 simple steps, you can understand the true art of manifestation and create the life you have always dreamed of. So I guess the first time I really unconsciously manifested anything was when I was a student, actually, in my 3rd year of my course, and I was living in France, and I was studying in Paris, which was amazing, but I didn't have a plan for the next few months of my year abroad. And these jobs kind of came up, advertised by my university, and one of them was based in the south of France, and I wanted it so much because I just wanted to live in the south of France. And I think I wrote down like, I will get this job, I will be living in the south of France, and it happened and I got it. And I just think like when you do put your mind to something, and when you say it out loud or write it down and create these mind maps, and you put actions in place, things will happen. And when you trust as well, and that's basically the crux of this book. And I've been reading this, The E-Myth Revisited. Now I think a couple of you guys actually recommended this to me in the comments, or maybe via email. So it's why most small businesses don't work and what to do about it. Now, initially I thought that was quite a depressing title, and not something that I particularly wanted to read. However, I'd seen the reviews. It's quite mixed. Like, some of them are really like giving it high praise, some of them aren't. They're saying things like it could have been written in 20 pages instead of a 200 page book. But I'm kind of going through it, and what I've taken so far is that there are different stages, obviously, of small businesses. And let me just go through the content. So, say if you run a small business, you started off as a technician. So say I started off as a baker, and then I became an entrepreneur because I wanted to open my own business for freedom of creativity, just purely being able to work in a kitchen where I can work with my allergies, to follow my dream. So that means I'm a technician, then entrepreneur, and then you become a manager as well when you start employing staff. And in having those three roles, a lot of the time it can be very, very overwhelming for the individual. And also understanding, do I just want to be the technician? Do I want to be the entrepreneur or the manager? And then kind of like getting help from employees, moving into more a managerial role and like moving out of your comfort zone. The business growing, how the most successful businesses have a plan from the very start and a vision for what they want to be, how they're going to get there, and how they're going to get there on a day-to-day basis. Like, what are they doing now that will get them from A to B to achieve that initial vision? So it's really interesting, and like sometimes I do get a bit irritated with it, but I was just reading it on the weekend really, and I kind of had like a panic, like, oh god, do I just want to be a baker where I bake every day and then I have that creativity and that sort of freedom, but then do I still want to run my own business? Yes, I do, because then I can realise my dream of having my own cafe bakery which caters for everyone with allergies and make sure that they're really well cared for, and yeah, so that's where I'm at with this book. I'm only halfway through, but it's been a fairly interesting read. I would say a challenging beliefs sort of read. It's not challenging to read, it's a challenging your beliefs and kind of challenging your position as a business owner and where you sit in your business. So yeah, those have been my book recommendations. I didn't really intend on doing that, but it just kind of happened because I've kind of been dipping in and out of a few different books. And you know what, I'm actually quite proud that I'm even reading at the moment, because I don't know if you guys are big readers, but oh god, it's shocking. Like between Instagram and YouTube and Netflix and Amazon Prime and Life, like I just don't read enough. So I'm actually quite proud that I'm even halfway through one of these at the moment. But yeah, I think I'm going to wrap up the video there. I hope you enjoyed it. What else am I doing the rest of the week? I've just got like normal deliveries going on. I've got some flyers to send out in the local area. I may have a potential new wholesale client, which is exciting. And yeah, that's where I'm at really at the moment, just growing slowly. And yeah, loving life. So yeah, I really hope you're all well. Say hi in the comments below, let me know what you want to see next time. And yeah, take care everyone, lots of love, bye.